I'm going to give an update, a progress report on making Thomas into an RC locomotive. This is the G gauge, or it's not G scale particularly, Thomas, supplied by Bachmann. As you can see, there's been some cosmetic changes apart from the wheels. Why would you bother doing something to it? Well, you've got quite a solid plastic body. You can buy a kit of parts to do some modifications to it, such as change the front face and put a proper smoke box door onto it. I've added some micro strip in here to detail the water filler caps. I've cut away the front splashers there to give it a slightly different look. But it's got metal wheels and a relatively good and robust motor pack. So it's got a fairly solid chassis and quite an attractive chassis for the price. What I've done so far, this might take a little bit of showing. Drop that on top of my transmitter as well. Okay. I'm using the Deltang, I think it's called Deltang, transmitter receiver sets. And so if I zoom in, what you will see there is a Deltang, is it 2.4 gigahertz receiver plugged into there. All I've done is cut the motor wires, which are at this end of this little circuit board. That little circuit board just changes the polarity from NMRA to something else. And so you've got the wires which went to the motor and the wires which are coming back to the motor here. Those wires go to a switch which is up there. I've mounted them underneath the coal load so that I can switch it from normal track power straight to the motor and bypass all of my additional circuitry. Or I can put the switch the other way, and then the power to the motor is not fed from the track but from these two white wires here, which are the output, the motor outputs from the Deltang receiver. The website for Deltang has got a lot more, and there's a proper blog with still photographs showing you all of this. I've put two batteries in here in the tanks at the side. Those are Overlander batteries. Were about £7 each. And there's a Y-lead, cheap Y-lead, well when I say cheap, it's a Y-lead bought off the internet, which I presume connects those up in parallel so that you still only get about 5 cells times 1.2 volts. So that's 5 to 10, that's only about 6 volts, isn't it? 1, 2, yeah. So you're not getting a huge voltage, but you're getting greater current. I'll confirm that with you, that that's what the Y-lead does. If it is connecting them in series and you're getting 12 volts out, that's not a problem either. So that's the output from the speed controller going to the motor. That's the white wires. Now, can you see that Y-lead there then, if I took that out of the way, is just the battery power from the battery. The other thing is you can see red and black wires to this receiver from another switch, but the red wire goes through a, let's call it a resettable fuse. It's a little brown capacitor looking device. This one is a 2.5/5 amp fuse. It operates like a slow blow fuse, supposedly trips at 2.5 but can carry 5 amps capability. And I've got some which are higher rating than that, and a diode, because I don't trust myself to always have a charger that's the right polarity. So diode and that in there. The battery, and this switch can switch between battery power to the circuitry or switch the battery to a charging socket. And this is specific to my implementation. I'm sorry this is too high for the lights to shine into it. How's that? Still not very clear, is it? That's probably a bit clearer. So we've got the two switches, one to switch track power or battery power, at the charging socket, which is a standard connector. I've just not got one to show you. It's the 2.1mm one, and then the switch which switches it between charging or normal operation. I think I may have got the order of those switches the wrong way around, but that's all going to be hidden underneath the removable coal load in Thomas. I'm not going to be able to show you it running. This is an update to show you how it's connected. This is the transmitter. I happened to build a kit using the Deltang transmitter, and I've actually bought another receiver just like the one in Thomas, so I can have a remote control electrically operated battery powered loco, diesel loco or something like this, or a steam outline, and then one that's a servo driver. I don't know if that's in focus, but I've got another receiver there. It's because it's zoomed in, I suppose, and that one is for steam loco, and I've got a steam loco on order, and hopefully you'll see that when it comes. So this is the transmitter. If I switch the transmitter on, you see a light comes on in there. If I switch Thomas on, there's a tiny little LED on the receiver. And then there's a bind operation. Oh no, the LED on that one, it's on the underside. There it is. You can see it flashing once every 2 seconds. If I put it somewhere where it doesn't go away. Don't know if you can see that on here. And then it will go into bind mode in a moment. And then when it's in bind mode, it flashes more frequently. Hold on. If I turn this light off, you might be able to see it flashing. In bind mode, and then in theory, I guess if I press this to do the binding and have it set to one of the channels, it would bind, but I need to go back and read the instructions. So that's scanning now for one of these, and then once it's bound it should stay continuously on. I'm going to stop there because I need to go and read the instructions. Oh, it's even gone on focus because I put my transmitter in the way. And I'll tell you how I get on later.